Welcome back to Virtual Travel. In one of my recent videos, Top 10 Countries Where Black People Are Not Welcomed, a must-watch for black travelers, a surprising number of viewers asked why I didn't include the United States. That got me thinking, are there states within the US where black people genuinely don't feel welcome? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Today, we're diving deep into the states where black Americans face the most challenges, focusing on disparities in income, housing, education, and social justice. Did you know that in some parts of the U.S., black residents are 5 times more likely to be incarcerated than their white counterparts? Or that decades of systemic inequality have left black households with significantly lower incomes and fewer opportunities for generational wealth? These aren't just numbers. They reflect real lives, real communities, and real struggles. This video isn't about sugarcoating the truth, but about shedding light on these systemic issues. And while the disparities are severe, they are not inevitable. Change is possible, but only if we first understand the challenges. So grab a seat, and let's unpack the states where racial inequality runs deepest. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Virtual Travel for more content like this. Number 10, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, with a population of over 13 million, is home to a black population of about 12%. Despite the state's industrial and cultural richness, black residents face significant challenges, especially in cities like Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, the median income for black households is just $28,000 annually, compared to $53,000 for white households, almost double. This staggering income gap severely limits black families' access to quality healthcare, education, and economic stability. Unemployment paints a similarly grim picture. Black Pennsylvanians are over twice as likely to be unemployed as their white counterparts. And when it comes to health outcomes, disparities are glaring. Black residents experience higher rates of chronic diseases like diabetes and hypertension, compounded by limited access to quality healthcare. Life expectancy in some predominantly black neighborhoods is nearly a decade shorter than in white-majority areas. These statistics make Pennsylvania one of the most challenging states for black Americans. How can a state with so much history and potential still have such glaring inequalities in 2025? Number 9, Kansas. Kansas, often celebrated for its quiet plains and small-town charm, hides a troubling reality for its black population, which makes up about 6% of the state's 3 million residents. Homeownership is a major obstacle for black Kansans. Only 32% of black households own homes, compared to 72% of white households, a gap that directly impacts financial stability and generational wealth. The income disparity is equally striking. Black residents earn a median household income of $35,000 annually, while white households average $60,000. This gap affects every aspect of life, from access to better schools and neighborhoods to opportunities for upward mobility. Kansas might seem like a quiet and welcoming state, but these systemic inequalities create harsh realities for its black residents. Why does a state with so much potential continue to struggle with such disparities? Number 8, Michigan. Michigan, with its rich industrial history and cultural landmarks, is home to a black population of about 14%. Despite its significance in shaping America, Michigan reveals deep economic and social inequalities. The median household income for black residents in Michigan is approximately $35,000, compared to $63,000 for white households. This income gap ripples through every aspect of life: housing, education, and healthcare. Only 40% of black residents in Michigan own their homes, compared to 76% of white residents. And the unemployment rate for black Michiganders stands at around 10%, more than twice the rate for white residents. Cities like Detroit, which once thrived as the heart of the U.S. auto industry, now struggle with economic decline that disproportionately affects black communities. These challenges make Michigan one of the most difficult states for black Americans to thrive in. Number 7, Nebraska. Nebraska's vast plains and reputation for Midwestern hospitality don't paint the full picture for its black population, which makes up about 5% of the state's 2 million residents. The median household income for black Nebraskans is approximately $38,000, far below the $63,000 earned by white households. This disparity impacts access to quality housing, education, and economic opportunities. When it comes to homeownership, the gap widens further. Only 32% of black households own homes, compared to 72% of white households. In a state that prides itself on being welcoming, these disparities tell a different story. Unemployment rates for black Nebraskans are nearly 9%, more than double that of white residents. The result? A poverty rate of 25% for black residents, compared to just 8% for white residents. Number 6, Missouri. Missouri, home to the iconic Gateway Arch, also struggles with significant racial disparities. Black residents make up about 12% of the state's 6 million people, but their experiences reveal glaring inequalities. The median household income for black Missourians is $36,000, compared to $60,000 for white households. This income gap limits access to education, healthcare, and financial stability. Homeownership rates are just as stark, 37% for black residents versus 70% for white residents. And black Missourians face an unemployment rate of 9%, nearly double that of their white counterparts. St. Louis, in particular, has a history of racial tension that continues to shape housing, job opportunities, and education for black residents. Number 5, Connecticut. Connecticut is known for its wealth and prestigious institutions, but its black residents, who make up 10% of the population, face significant barriers. The median income for black households in Connecticut is $47,000, compared to $82,000 for white households. And housing inequality is even more pronounced. Only 31% of black residents own homes, compared to 75% of white residents. Unemployment rates for black residents hover around 10%, nearly twice that of white residents. These disparities make Connecticut a challenging state for black Americans. Number 4, South Dakota. South Dakota, with its small black population of just 2%, reveals significant challenges. Black households earn a median income of $30,000, compared to $63,000 for white households. Only 25% of black residents own homes, compared to 70% of white residents. And with an unemployment rate of 12%, black South Dakotans face significant economic instability. Number 3, Minnesota. Minnesota, known for its lakes and progressive reputation, has some of the widest racial disparities in the country. Black families earn a median income of $38,000, while white households earn $76,000. Homeownership rates show a similar divide, 25% for black residents and 75% for white residents. Educational disparities further limit economic mobility for black Minnesotans. Number 2, Iowa. Iowa's black population, 4% of its 3.2 million residents, faces steep inequalities. Homeownership rates for black residents are just 23%, compared to 74% for white residents. Median incomes for black households are about $31,000, while white households earn $60,000. And with a black incarceration rate 7 times higher than that of white residents, systemic issues are painfully clear. Number 1, Wisconsin. Wisconsin tops the list. Black residents earn a median income of $32,000, compared to $63,000 for white households. Homeownership rates are just 25% for black residents, while 72% of white residents own homes. Milwaukee, in particular, has some of the highest incarceration rates for black Americans, reflecting a long history of segregation and inequality. Thank you for watching Virtual Travel. These disparities are more than statistics, they're reflections of systemic issues that demand change. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you next time.